my lovely 5D mystic community. And that's anybody who has a lovely relationship with Akash, the sphere of consciousness. Our energies are balancing out with this taking place, and your open-heartedness as well as emotional maturity. Okay. With that being said, I know that for those of you who are not mystics, it's woo-woo stuff, it's cool, but some of us, we do have a relationship, and more than just that. So my spirituality journey begins with lovely Jesus, Christianity, Catholicism, and then my clairs, they came and opened up, I think it was around the age of 27-ish, if I remember correctly, and I'm 44 now. And as a 5D mystic, the difference is we know that there's no spiritual warfare. So the human being body is a beautiful body to have. And in fact, thank you, Sadhguru, for being out there sharing with us how if you overflow with humanity, divinity has to descend. Because divinity to a 5D mystic is basically dark matter, dark energy, there is a law of energy, cosmos, however you may put it, that we are aware of. So anytime I have downloads, anytime I'm meeting people, I have a very clear energetic imprint feeling. So it's like a perfume, like the blossoming of orange flowers, okay? Just saying. So when I meet people, the ones that are from my oversoul, I will know immediately. And then I have recently also uncovered that there are oversouls. I'm not even going to put it that way. There are relationships with star babies and earth babies. That's all I'm going to say. And I laughed when I was like, wait a minute. So it's true, because I did learn about this from one of my books on a lot of concepts that I don't get completely informed on purpose. So 4D gets lost in all of the, Atlantis, not Atlantis, Lemurian, everything. Okay, so yeah, like this one. I didn't get lost in the stories because they're stories. I could immediately assimilate the story and what it meant and apply it to what is more important, which is our humanity. So the 4D, they don't have groundedness in their humanity. In fact, it's unfortunate because they are in their human suffering love narrative. Like Elsa goes on that journey, but Elsa's a cartoon, which is great. It ends great. She figures out, oh, look, it's me I've been looking for. They don't say, oh, look, my inner child needs me. 5D collective has awareness of their inner child. Either it's a healed, like mine, which never got broken from our restorative embodiment self-awareness. I have a great gut, a great heart, and a great brain, meaning I can use them all. They're all great, but the people who do survival mode, they have human suffering love narrative. They have their actual not secure attachment, one. So first year of life, they didn't learn how to securely attach in their mammalian heritage. And if it wasn't at the 0-1 year old, we then have 3 to 7 shame submissive, where if there are enough ruptures and no repairs, you have then an attachment wound. Okay, so between attachment wounds and trauma charges, and then abuse and neglect, which equate childhood developmental trauma, I'm attachment trauma informed. I have my courses, certificates, but this is where they're the experts. I'm the pseudoscience lady. In fact, FYI, we will use Ask Maria for our lovely paid subscription-based model content on the podcast audio version. Once we have membership for YouTube, we will have the same format. That way you just ask Maria your questions, kind of like the columnists ask Abby, because attachment informed, trauma informed, personal development, all of the research throughout the years, the inner growth mindset, but really because I'm bringing to you the voices, stories, and the examples of empowerment from an inner child. So you learn to hear, you learn to say, yeah, I think she can give me something, and there you go. Very straightforward, because food for thought, the 5D collective, are people who are emotionally aware, self-aware. So that means you do understand you're human like I'm a human. This is not a special gift. Nothing is this special gift. Okay, so a whole, grounded in humanity person has healthy self-worth, which is what it means to be humble. This is why you are actual spirituality material. And I say actual because what I know of anything related to Jesus and God is the essence of love in life. And I know that a Sadhguru, thank goodness he's out there. So the one guru that I will have looked at, besides my whole story, which is Jesus, is my spirituality guide. But now that I can see how somebody else is supporting humanity, yes, he shares the way to be unconditionally loving. And in the different ways that anybody who's closed-minded to yoga and thinking it brings demons out of you, okay? So People that are closed-minded, there's so many different ways. The ones who are 4D mystics think they're special and anointed, and they never get to the end of Elsa's journey and figure out that they want to work with EMDR, child parts work, and somatics. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to the side and just share with our last 5 minutes how emotionally mature people, we're aware of ourselves. You have an ego, I have an ego, you have a self, I have a self, and we work with our behaviors. If you have a maladaptive child behavior, you're either with a good therapist reparenting yourself, or you will have become aware, my reactivity, my way of being is not the way I want to be with my herd. It's not bringing to the whole what I want to see. Okay, so it's called self-awareness and the knowingness that we all have a heart and we can use our prefrontal cortex. So nobody has a weapon, nobody's in their survival mode. This is what it means to be aware of yourself, and then to notice if you're being reactive, what can I do to work with that? And you put yourself into, I'm going to work with that. So you don't let your anger, let's say, be what leads you. And on that note, let's talk about that, because I'm trying to think which stories I want to share. So we look at when an emotionally avoidant man, I'm going to use these examples, makes their way with lies and in and out behavior. And what I see online is typically coaches, men giving women who I will say are not, in my book, empowered yet. If you're empowered, you're not going to be in your 0-1-year-old trying to get a human being who's emotionally unavailable to be with you. You're going to understand what emotional unavailability means because it's explained to, and you're not going to be heartbroken in a way of making it personal, because you're now basically saying, I'm going to say it's unfair and I'm going to judge a human being who has attachment wounds. So from my left mode, with a healthy, meaning I'm a whole 0-1-year-old, so I don't have this harboring of resentment, of upset. I don't have a 0-1-year-old who feels that I've been the unfair thing. Okay, so when you hear about how childhood trauma, developmental, the ones who heal, Patrick Tiahan comes to mind because he built a community to help people to reparent themselves. He talks about the pain and grief that comes from a human being once they begin healing and realize that they were not given a child-centric environment. So this energy, I call it energy, that comes up when a person is feeling, I was given life I want to love and I'm not being provided it, but you understand that you had a person, let's say, again, in and out, liars, whatever it is. So I can get passionate about it, but there's one thing I will always remember. It's not about it being unfair. Every one of us does the best we can. So if I understand, which now there's enough attachment trauma informed, that you are emotionally unavailable to yourself, it isn't personal. I won't like it. And here's the part of emotional awareness. I won't like it. Yeah, I'm accepting something I don't like. And here's where our lovely Sadhguru, as he, in one of his recent, which one was it? Let's see if it's this one. The one about how you can learn, it's a big lesson. Learning to live joyfully with things you do not like is a huge lesson in life. An emotionally mature human being will unconditionally love, so you be you and I be me, because my inner child isn't broken. I don't need healing, so I'm consistently just having fun with my relationships. The minute you're showing me that you're emotionally unavailable, I will not be your mother. I will not be coming at you with anything. No, I will accept that which I don't like. And when others get the whole, they're disrespecting, as long as I remained ignorant of attachment trauma information, I didn't use necessarily that word as I got older. I used the word that everyone does for them. I am not going to use my brain space for what is a behavior that doesn't make sense, but I know it must make sense somehow to you. I don't do storytelling. I do your heart, and I'm a heart like Pacha. So I'm going to leave it alone. And if you ever have enough of your awareness to come and say, hey, you know what? I want to talk about my maladaptive child behavior, I'm going to be all ears. In the meantime, I'm going to be, as a mystic, FYI, joyful, because I know that actually you're a choice point for me. And I just got to expand my consciousness, which is what always happens. This is why for polyamory. Again, some people don't believe in the capacity for us to use our brain. They haven't met the empowered women or men out there, because we know healthy self-worth and we know how to use our brain and how to talk to people like humans, because our higher social engagement system, I see you. You're a person like I am. And, you do the best you can. I do the best I can. And that's about it. Tune in for more.